And I started to go into the Mount Hood C room, and that's the Mary Kay group. So I hope my makeover looks sharp this morning. I'm trying to figure out how to explain the makeup to my spouse, but I'll be okay, I think. I wrote down, I always like my list. I think I've shared it before, but we have this P through 20 initiative, and it makes so much sense to me. It isn't just that we remove some of the barriers, but we actually make it easier for our children in the state to move from really the point of birth all the way through graduate school. The legislature does not have a choice to say we're not going to do this really well. And so we kind of have them where we want them at some point, but we also need to make sure that we convince them that our plans are correct and that they want to bring those funds to us because they know that we're going to use those to very best effect. I guarantee you, if a kid cannot read by the end of third grade, they are toast. It is an oh shit moment for them if they cannot read by the end of third grade. And in places where we have folks who are not executing the plan as intended, you need to find a way to get them on board. It's not acceptable. But on the day of delivery, there is not room for discussion or debate, and there is not room for someone not carrying out the plan as intended. Your job is to ensure that that is happening. If it is happening, I believe you will absolutely be successful, especially if your plan is evidence-based. But to attempt to carry out anything that is not, or to have any teacher in your school, to have any counselor, to have any person in that program not carrying out the plan as intended is completely unacceptable. But here's what I do know, is I kind of am an S.O.B. I really and truly kind of am an S.O.B. when it comes to the expectation about what people are going to do. That we're going to have a plan and they're going to do what we have agreed to do. And that when they leave and they shut the classroom door, there is no room for them to change their mind about that. And I have to know that a true S.O.B. is going to check on it and know it and enforce it. That means I'm going to be in the classroom a bunch. And I'm going to know precisely what's happening in every classroom. And I'm going to be demanding about the kind of instruction that takes place in that classroom, and that every single person is going to run our plan. Now, I can be really nice about it. And in fact, as an educator, if you're not really nice about it, you probably can't get there. Right? That's the kindly manner part. But the S.O.B. is extremely important. Because if you're not kind of an S.O.B. about it, underneath that kindly manner, you cannot get it done. Because a lot of people want to be independent contractors. And when we have independent contractors, what we really do is confuse kids like crazy. So you've got to be an S.O.B. with a kindly manner. And I do think it is a powerful mantra to think about yourself that way. And it gives you permission to be a little bit of a hard person in your expectations about what's going to happen in your school. That is the focus. And it has to be exceedingly clear. And this is the plan that we're going to work in that focus. This is everybody collectively pulling in the same direction. And up in my office I have a quote that's often quoted and sometimes misquoted, in fact most often is, that is a Theodore Roosevelt quote. And it's the quote about "It's not the critic who counts." And if you haven't ever read it, I suggest that you read it and that you think about what it says, because basically what it says is, it's not the critic who counts.